In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact step-by-step process that enabled me to build a $200,000 a month revenue business while not having to work in one single minute in the operation. I was just like you. I was in a job or in a position where I didn't like where I was at. I worked for Amazon. I worked nights. I struggled. I hated my life, and I wanted so desperately to build a worthwhile business. Now, I have all the cash flow I need to live my life, live out my dreams, travel the world, hire the best talent in the world, and most importantly, I'm happy. So I know how to take you exactly from the situation of stress, wanting more, not having enough time, not making enough money, to having a super successful business. In this video, I broke down 4 simple steps that you need to follow to be able to do the same exact thing. So first and foremost, let's break down how we got here. The number one thing is leads. If your business does not bring enough leads in of the ideal client that could pay you what you want to earn, you're never going to get to a business that's doing $200,000 a month. My lead structure is pretty straightforward. In the last 30 days, my leads were broken down as following. We booked 25 leads from Twitter. My handle is Jordan_Ross_ADAF. You could go look at my Twitter and reverse engineer how I'm booking calls from Twitter. We booked 23 calls from cold calling, 20 calls from cold email. We booked 11 calls from my website, which drives traffic from all over the internet. We booked 7 calls from here, YouTube. We booked 7 calls from my podcast, which is How to Scale an Agency on Spotify. We booked 7 calls from referrals. We booked an additional 5 calls from Facebook, and we booked another 4 calls from guest podcasts and guest speaking. All those add up to about 100. Once you have enough lead flow, the next most important thing is you need to close deals. This summer, I unveiled such an important thing that I had missed. You are probably going to miss this too. Every single agency owner, when they get to $1 million, tries to remove themselves from either operations or sales. I decided I was going to remove myself from both, and that's exactly what I did. I completely removed myself from my business, but what ended up happening, my sales team wasn't able to close a high enough rate for me to build a $5 million, $10 million a year business, which really just slowed down my growth. So I looked at the data this summer and I noticed my best sales professionals were closing 18 to 20% of all the calls they had, which is pretty good if you consider a lot of appointments don't even show up and a lot of people aren't qualified, which includes that in that sample size, but it's not good enough when you consider that I close about 50 to 60% of everyone I speak to. So what I did when I got back home from my 5-week vacation this summer was I fired my sales team. The number one thing that allowed me to actually get to the 200K per month was letting go of my sales team and doing all the sales myself. The reason I did this was because I heard Alex Hormozi was in his business selling until he hit $1 million a month. And I figured, who am I to not be selling right now? Who am I to not work my ass off to accomplish my goals? I want to work hard and I'm willing to. So firing my sales team was actually the biggest thing that got me to 200K a month. After those 2 steps of booking enough calls and closing enough deals, it was increasing our lifetime value. Over the course of 2023, I made some really important adjustments that enabled me to increase my lifetime value to over $20,000 annual lifetime value for the average client. The first thing this year was building a world-class team. My team consists of over 4 consultants that have at minimum been a COO of an 8-figure company. The second thing that we did to increase our lifetime value was fulfillment. Now, we changed a lot of important things in my business over the last 12 months, but some of the most important things were building a really strong onboarding process where my clients filled out their onboarding form, got onboarded into Slack, got access to a community, got access to talk to their consultant for an unlimited amount of time. So they have one-on-one access to $50 million a year executive where they can ask them an unlimited amount of questions. We made our models and templates better, which was critical. So we were able to templatize the journey, and we put more time into due diligence. The number one thing that actually led to the increase in LTV from my consulting process was creating a 12-week roadmap every single quarter for each one of my clients. When new clients come into my program, we're spending more time on the front end doing due diligence and building a really good plan that all we have to do to grow our clients' businesses is follow it. I found that this one change in my business led to the biggest increase in lifetime value because if we do all the work up front and all we have to do is make sure we execute our plan, we grow. So my insight for you is do more work up front, build a really good plan, put 10 to 20 hours per account if you need to. And the third and final thing that we did to increase lifetime value was add cross sells that added about $12,000 in recurring revenue to my business. Right now, we have a bunch of clients that are on a low ticket service. They're paying about $700 a month for cold email from my business. This is something that's working decently well. The average client's booking 6 to 10 appointments per month, and they're paying us about $700 a month. So their cost per lead is about $100 a month. This is something that we realized there was a need for our clients, and we introduced a really low ticket service because we're not trying to become a lead gen agency. We're just trying to provide value to our clients. Now, this one change has attributed about 6% of my overall revenue to cold email and and these cold email services. The final thing that we did in my business to hit the $200,000 a month run rate was billing. Now, my billing model over the last 12 months has not been dialed in to make hitting $200,000 a month easy. We had variable billing, meaning if a client came in and they did not finish their full month of consulting, we delayed their billing until they finished their 4th session in the month. My friend Marketing Max informed me about his billing model that he had when he was running his company Hell's Creative. What they did for all their clients is they had auto billing, which hit on the 1st of every month. When they onboarded clients, if they onboarded them at the start of the month or the middle of the month, they would prorate their first month experience for the next 2 to 3 weeks until the first of the month hit, and then they would lock in a subscription. Moving forward, we changed all of our clients to this billing model where on the first of the month, every single client auto renews. So imagine at the first of every month, you get all of your revenue that you're supposed to get, and then for the rest of the month, all net new revenue that comes in is from sales. And just think about how empowering that is as an executive to not have to stress about finances. You know what you have to control from your expenses to make sure you at least run a profit. I quickly want to show you some of the tools that we built in my business that makes our business so much better. One of the internal tools that we have in my business is our interface that we have in Airtable. You could see here we have a lot of different things such as my client scorecards, my onboarding process for my clients and team members. Depending on the client, you could see here we have Lily Thompson, who's a YouTube influencer, has all of her actions and what we need to do and accomplish on a week-to-week basis. Now, this is something that we have for every single client. As we scroll down, there's more details, but these small details in my business increase the level of professionalism, increase the ability to hold our team members accountable, hold our clients accountable, and make sure results are so much better. Ultimately, I realized this was one small thing that led to a big perception shift in my business. We increased the level of perception of professionalism and our clients felt happier. If you follow all of these same steps from this video in your business, you'll be able to build at least $1 million business. However, saying that is easier than doing it because you don't know all the micro details that I had to put in at each and every step to build these systems in the right way, in the right order, and doing it the right way the first time around. That's why I'm going to be making more in-depth videos on each of these steps that I've talked about today. That way you can watch these and implement them for yourself. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see how I would scale an agency from 0 all the way to 8 figures, go here and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. Now, as a final note, if you need help growing your business, if you want a one-on-one consultation with me, go to the link in the notes below where you can book a one-on-one consultation with 8 Figure Agency, and we will help you how to build a roadmap so you can hit $200,000 a month as well. Thanks for tuning in.